Today, we're taking a really interesting look at the placebo effect,
Right.
but maybe not in the way you usually think about it, like beyond just medical trials.
Exactly. We're diving into how belief, impacts our everyday habits. We're using some great points from the Mehmal podcast.
Yeah, with Ryan and Lena, they had a really good discussion on this.
They did. They kicked off by saying, look, this isn't just about sugar pills.
No.
It's at its heart, it's about how believing something can genuinely lead to a positive result. It's powerful psychology.
It really is. And they used examples that I think most people can relate to,
Mm-hmm.
like, buying that super expensive face cream
Oh, yeah.
because you're absolutely convinced it's going to work wonders. And then maybe you actually start seeing better skin.
Or the lucky socks thing for a big game or presentation.
Totally. That feeling, that belief,
Mm.
even if it's just, a habit,
Mm.
it can genuinely make you perform better.
And what's really key here, which Ryan and Lena pointed out, is that it's not just in your head, psychologically speaking. I mean, it is, but it triggers real physical responses.
How so?
Well, your brain actually releases chemicals, things like endorphins, dopamine.
The feel-good stuff.
Exactly. But they do more than just make you feel good. They impact your physical state, your pain perception, your motivation. It all starts with that expectation, that belief.
Okay, so that connects directly to our daily routines then.
Definitely. Lena had this great example about a special bedtime tea.
Right.
You drink it every night, believing it helps you relax. And, well, over time, your brain just learns that association. The ritual itself signals time to wind down.
Even if the tea itself doesn't really have, like, strong sleep ingredients.
Precisely. The power comes from the established belief and the routine. Your brain does the heavy lifting.
That's actually kind of empowering when you think about it.
It is, and Ryan really stressed that point. Understanding this means we can sort of consciously use our mindset to boost the habits we already have.
Make them work better for us.
Yeah, your conviction adds an extra layer of effectiveness.
Lena called it ethically hacking your own brain, which I thought was a great phrase.
It is catchy. But they didn't stop there. They also talked about the flip side.
Ah, right. The nocebo effect.
Exactly, where negative expectations, well, they can lead to negative outcomes.
So it works both ways.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about your self-talk, doesn't it?
Definitely. Lena's example was someone who just believes they're not a morning person.
Mm-hmm. And that belief itself can make waking up harder, make them feel groggier.
It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy almost.
It really can. That negative script reinforces the negative experience.
So given all this, the good and the bad,
Mm.
Ryan asked, should we actively try to use the placebo effect?
And Lena seemed pretty clear. Yes, absolutely.
Why not? Right. If it helps.
Well, yeah. The thinking is if a certain routine or object or even just a way of thinking gives you confidence or makes you feel calmer or more motivated.
Then lean into it.
Exactly. Embrace that belief. It's a tool. It doesn't really matter if the primary mechanism is psychological, if the end result is positive for you.
So the big takeaway from their chat seems to be that our beliefs are, well, pretty darn influential on how our habits actually pan out.
For better or for worse, yeah. They shape the outcomes significantly.
Right. Which brings us to something for you, the listener, to think about.
Yeah, inspired by Lena, maybe think about one small habit you have, or even just a belief.
Something you could consciously put a bit more faith into.
Mm-hmm. Just recognizing that your brain can amplify its power through that belief. See what happens.
It's an interesting experiment. Okay, so here's a final thought to leave you with. Now that you know about both placebo and nocebo,
Mm-hmm.
how might that change how you approach things? Your goals, maybe challenges you're facing?
Yeah, how does knowing the power of your own expectations shift your perspective going forward? Something to mull over.